Hi, in this video, we are going to demonstrate how we can use the NextLabs DAE for Oracle to protect sensitive information in Teamcenter. Today, we are going to show you 4 use cases that will highlight the core features of our product. First, we will show you how you can protect objects from a project level. Then, we will show you how you can apply data masking and row filtering to protect data at the item and dataset level respectively. We will also show you how our solution can protect your data from users with privileged access to your system, like your super users or administrators. Before we jump into the demo, let's take a moment to understand our test environment. On the left side of your screen, we have the demo accounts. We have prepared 5 user accounts. Demo user M1 is a manager from the US. Demo users E1 and E2 are both engineers from the US and the UK respectively. Lastly, we have demo users S1 and S2 who are super users from the US and the UK. On the right side, you will see the different classifications we have applied to our test data. First, we have the top secret classification. We would like to make sure that only managers will have access to this data. Next, we have the ITAR data. We want to make sure that users who are not from the US will not have access to these data. Furthermore, we are going to restrict access to some of the fields for engineers when they are accessing ITAR data. Lastly, we have the UG master dataset. This dataset will be available to everyone except for engineers outside the US. Now, let's take a look at our test data before we deploy our DAE policies. I'm loading 2 instances of Teamcenter. On the left side, we have one of our engineers, and on the right side, we have one of our super users. Now, as you can see, since we do not have any policies deployed, these users can both see all 4 projects and expand to see its contents. You can also see that both users can access sensitive objects like our ITAR data. For our first use case, we want to limit the access of certain users to projects based on its categories. In this example, we will demonstrate how to define controls to ensure that only managers are allowed to see internal projects. Non-managers, including super user or administrator accounts, should not be able to see these project types. In order to meet our objectives for the first use case, I will create a policy that targets users who are not managers from the US. When they are accessing our tables, I will apply a condition that they should only be able to see projects whose category is either null or not internal. I will deploy this policy and re-log into Teamcenter. First, let's see what our super user can view. Here, you can see that he now only has 3 projects. He can no longer see the top secret project because it was classified as internal only. Compare that to the view of our manager. Here, you can see that our manager still has access to the top secret project. Now let's take a look at what an engineer will see. Similar to the super user, he does not see the top secret project. For our second use case, we want to limit access to certain fields by applying data masking. In this use case, we will demonstrate how to hide sensitive information by applying data masking. In this example, we will still allow demo user E1 to access ITAR items, but we will redact certain highly sensitive fields, like in our case, description. This will only apply for ITAR items. The user will still have full access on other classified data like EAR. For our second use case, we need to create 2 policies. The first policy will deny all UK users access to ITAR data. The second policy will apply data masking to engineers. In this policy, we have enabled the data masking obligation to replace the value of the description field with access for ITAR data. When we log into Teamcenter as a manager, you can see that he can still view the ITAR data with the original text in the description. When we log in as a US engineer, the user can still see that the ITAR data is there, but you can see that the description field is redacted. And when we log in as a UK engineer, he does not see the ITAR data at all. For our third use case, we are going to limit access to datasets by applying data filtering. In this example, our engineer in the UK will not be able to see all items with object type equals to UG master. For this use case, we need to create a policy for UK engineers and specify a condition that will prevent them from viewing any data with object type is equal to UG master. Our UG master datasets are placed in Project C. When we log in as a US engineer, we can see all the datasets in Project C. When we log in as a UK engineer, we do not see the UG master datasets from our list. For our final use case, we want to limit the access of the super users. We want to make sure that they will not have access to the top secret project. And UK users should not have access to ITAR objects. We've already met our first objective for this use case with the policy that we have created for the use case number 1. Now, we just need to create a policy to restrict UK super administrators from accessing ITAR items. Once the policy has been deployed, we log in as a super user from the US, and you can see that this user does not have access to the top secret project, but he can still see ITAR data. Now, if we log in as a super user from the UK, you can see that this user also does not have access to the top secret project, and he does not have access to the ITAR data.